Great to be here. My name is Amanda Mills. I am the Assistant Director of Undergraduate Admissions at Stony Brook University. And I've actually been with Stony Brook for 17 years. So I could definitely spend quite a while talking about Stony Brook, but it would really help me if there are any specific topics that you're here to hear about. I'm very happy to answer specific questions. If you put them in the Q&A, I'll keep an eye on that. And before I forget, I'm also going to put my email address in the chat so that if you want to jot that down, if you come up with any questions later, in the next, months, you're more than welcome to contact me directly. And just to give you a little background about Stony Brook, Stony Brook is part of the State University System in New York, or SUNY, and there's actually 64 2- and 4-year schools within SUNY. Stony Brook is located on Long Island in New York. We're the kind of southern easternmost campus within the state system. And one of the things that I'm here today to talk about is our School of Marine and Atmospheric Sciences. So I'll talk a little bit about kind of the campus and how things are broken down. And then I'll give you a little kind of snapshot or some highlights about SOMAS and our marine and environmental and sustainability programs. It's actually one of our fourth largest schools within the college, within the university. Stony Brook is definitely a larger school. We have 18,000 undergraduate students and usually an incoming freshman class of about 3,500 students. Within the School of Marine and Atmospheric Sciences, however, just as an example, in the marine science major, we have about 200 students. So definitely a smaller community within SOMAS, within the larger university setting. Some of the perks of being a larger public institution are that we are a type 1 research university with significant funding to do research. So if research is something you've kind of thought about that you might want to do in college or that you might already be doing in high school, then yes, that's something you could definitely take advantage of. Most of the faculty at Stony Brook are also doing research. They are often, as are our graduate students, looking for undergraduates to get involved and get practical hands-on experience. Resume building is a foundational piece of who Stony Brook is. Part of our liberal arts core curriculum and includes experiential education requirement. That could include things like study abroad. We have quite a few SOMAS specific study abroad options ranging from Moat Marine Lab, Marine Labs in Florida, but we also have our program in Jamaica. During our winter session in January, we have programs for environmental studies in Tanzania, in Ireland. We've had students that go to Cuba and all kinds of places really exploring environmental and marine issues. When you think about kind of what you're looking for in a university and what you're looking for in a college or program, I think some important key things, especially if you're thinking about coming to the East Coast, are, can I live on campus? And how easy is it to do that? Stony Brook does guarantee housing on campus for up to 4 years. We actually have a lot of housing off campus in our community. So if you prefer to live off campus, that is also an option. But it is guaranteed that you can have a room on campus, and that really can put a lot of kind of the uncertainty of going away to school to rest, and can make that transition a little bit easier knowing that you have a home away from home. And that's how our students describe Stony Brook. So it's not just me saying it, they definitely talk about that a lot. The university as a whole has over 200 majors, minors, and combined degree programs. In addition to our 18,000 undergraduate students, we have about 8,500 graduate students. So we're definitely a comprehensive public research institution. We have many different opportunities for combined degree study, which has been very popular in the last decade, where students are earning their bachelor's and master's in 5 years. That's something you don't have to know as an incoming freshman, but it is something to think about when you're exploring universities. If that's something that appeals to you, it's something that Stony Brook's majors do incorporate. Our programs within the School of Marine and Atmospheric Sciences include our marine sciences major, our marine vertebrate biology major, which really focuses more on zoology. They focus on fish, seabirds, sea turtles, marine mammals. If you're looking to study sharks, we have a shark researcher. If you're looking to study penguins, we have a penguin researcher. We have lots of different environmental and sustainability programs. We also have an atmospheric sciences degree. So if you're looking at meteorology, atmospheric and oceanic sciences is an excellent option. The sustainability programs range from a Bachelor of Art in Sustainability, an environmental humanities major so if you're, kind of not thinking about science, but you're thinking maybe about literature, advocacy, environmental law, that's definitely an option and something our students really thrive in. Environmental areas that we focus on are ecosystems and human impact, environmental design policy and planning, and coastal environmental studies. So the opportunities are really extensive. We also have lots of minors that can focus, in areas of engineering or geospatial sciences. So when you think about, as a high school sophomore or junior, deciding, I want to go to school and I think I know what area I want to specialize in, but maybe you're not 100% sure what your exact major or career path is going to be. I think Stony Brook's a really great choice because we have so much to choose from, both from kind of the hard science STEM aspect, the research aspect, to the Bachelor of Art programs that focus more on like marine conservation, law, nonprofit. We have students that go on to work in federal and state governments. So it's a really broad range of opportunities and experiences. And those do tend to lead students to have very strong social connections on campus. Stony Brook has over 300 student clubs and organizations. So if you want to get involved in something, we probably have it. Specific to SOMAS, to the School of Marine and Atmospheric Sciences, you'll find our meteorology club, our marine science club, our Sierra club, and a few others that really focus on bringing, guest speakers in. They look at, all kinds of conservation efforts, waste management efforts, ways to incorporate sustainable experiences into the campus community. And those are really key to, kind of what we do. Just to kind of differentiate between our marine sciences and our marine vertebrate biology major, you do tend to see in those two majors students doing extensive amounts of, whether it's research or internships or study abroad, real resume building activities. And that's one of the things that our faculty encourage students to do. They are constantly looking for students to recommend them to, different experiences. And those can be, local, national, and international, which I think is really important when you're looking at where you might end up in graduate school, if you decide to go that route, or what type of work you want to do. Having that support from faculty, especially faculty who are, actively pursuing research, but who are invested in the undergraduate students that attend Stony Brook. And that community experience is super important for us. just to give you some examples about campus life, we have lots of Stony Brook traditions on campus. Some revolve around residential life because, living on campus is such a big part of who we are. And traditions on campus, we have some that happen every semester, like, during finals week, we have, midnight breakfast, which is a super way to really kind of have the faculty and staff serve you breakfast and midnight as you've been studying all night. We have Earth Week every April, and that's really kind of an expansion of Earth Day to highlight all the things that are going on campus related to, climate change, climate action, both kind of at a micro level, what's happening within the Stony Brook University community, on Long Island, in New York, and so on and so forth. I think that when you think about, what it's like to be part of a community, yes, you're going to college, you're taking classes, you're planning your future, you're trying to fit in all these exciting opportunities, you're meeting new people, you're creating a network of people who will write letters of recommendation for you for grad school or recommend you for scholarship. And so it's a really exciting time. And one of the things that Stony Brook does really well is help students figure out how to find balance. How do I figure out how to manage all of these things and kind of build on skills I've learned in high school in terms of time management skills, and, really communication skills in general, both, when you're writing a term paper or when you are deciding on, whether to join another club or organization and you already feel a little spread thin. So, those are things to really start to think about, when you think about what college or university to attend, what are the support services like? Stony Brook has a number of opportunities because we have a very science heavy school. You will find an extensive math learning center. We have applied mathematics and a Bachelor of Science in mathematics. So the faculty and graduate students from those areas will have all kinds of, tutoring opportunities and ways for students who are taking classes to do reviews for upcoming exams, midterms, finals, or just to talk about math and really start to understand what they're going to need to know, especially in science heavy majors like marine science and marine vertebrate biology, because the foundation for everything you do will really be in calculus, biology, chemistry, physics, ecology, and kind of pulling all those things together and building in the marine science courses. We also have a very successful peer tutoring program and peer mentor opportunities. We have a writing center. You will be writing papers and, researching in some way throughout your time at Stony Brook. And those resources can really help our students succeed. Our goal is that you succeed in every way. And so making sure you're aware of those resources is very important. Other things that are important as well are faculty office hours. Faculty mentor our students. There are undergraduate advisors in their academic major. So you'll spend a lot of time with faculty. We also have an academic and pre-professional advising center for students who decide, sophomore, junior, senior year, okay, I'm ready to think about graduate school. There's an entire network of support to help you find, what resources you need to go to that next level with your education. We have support in terms of a whole suite of study abroad advisors if you're thinking about where to study abroad and how to fit it into a really full, packed 4-year undergraduate experience. And all of those things really do are probably lead to some things like our freshman retention rate, which is usually a little over 90%. So freshman year to sophomore year, our students have found that kind of foundational support they need to be successful, and then go on and continue at Stony Brook. So some of the questions in the chat, let me go in here. So we talked a little bit about experiences, study abroad, research, internships. What is your favorite thing about your school? Certainly our mascot, Wolfie. Wolfie is a sea wolf, which is a mythical creature. So, you gotta love him. He's always, actually him or her, I guess. Anyone can try out to be Wolfie the mascot. There are definitely some perks. You have a little entourage. And that's it's always exciting when students graduate and they reveal, in their end of year montage, they do like a reveal of like, I was Wolfie for the past 4 years, and it's a lot of fun. What makes your school and program unique? I think some of the things I talked about, that real commitment to the undergraduate success, the undergraduate experience, the resume development, the network development, are really, really important foundations of who we are. Our location is definitely a little bit unique. Long Island is, we have West Meadow Beach on the Long Island Sound, about 3 miles on the north side of our campus, which leads by ferry over to Connecticut. We have the Atlantic Ocean to our south, about 20 miles to our south, maybe a little bit less than that, and lots of bay and ocean going vessels and opportunities to get out and explore. We have so many conservation and rehabilitation programs with, cold stunned sea turtles in our area, seal rehabilitation and release. So really lots of ways to kind of get right in there. We have faculty doing shark research, and there are ways, especially once you're kind of more towards senior year or even in our graduate programs, there's, shark tagging research where they're, tracking sharks that have come into our area that maybe haven't been around Long Island in a long time, and looking at how, the ocean water has changed, the temperature has changed, and how that affects who's in our backyard, so to speak. We have a question here. What options does a student who wants to be a shark scientist have? So definitely the marine vertebrate biology major. Yeah, and oceanography courses are a great start. I think having, it says she's a 7th grader now, which is really exciting. And I think, so the key is to success in almost all of our programs that are STEM heavy is starting to develop a very strong foundation in math and science as early as possible. To really be successful in our marine science courses and our marine vertebrate biology courses, you're going to be taking a lot of biology, a lot of chemistry, a lot of physics. They're all calculus based. So as soon as you can kind of have a strong, kind of affinity for math and science. Just on a side note, I was an English major, so wasn't my strong suit, but I'm always very impressed with anyone who kind of gets it. But yeah, that's going to be the key for admission into college. It's going to be the key for success in college in these programs, because you have to get through those foundation courses your first year to really get into the, kind of types of courses that are going to allow you to be studying sharks. That's just always going to be the way it is. And yeah, a marine biologist, master's degree or PhD, there's definitely opportunities there. We see students that, go on our website. If you check out SOMAS at .stonybrook.edu, you'll see, I'll actually put that in the chat. You'll see there's a list of graduate school placement and career placement for all of our majors. There's kind of a sampling up there. And that is, I would say, the best way to, kind of really get an idea of what our students are doing and what you might want to do. I think you'll probably have to just copy that into a web browser. I don't know if you can copy from webinar, but just to get back to some questions and make sure we're getting everybody. Yeah, so what can high school students do that would make them a better college student? Time management skills are key for, success. Learning good study habits, being comfortable, trying new things, and being willing, to try new classes and to ask questions, which can be really, really difficult for a lot of students in high school, because they think, well, this is the expert, how can I question them? But college is all about asking questions. So you have to get comfortable asking questions, especially if you want to go into research fields. Those are really great questions, everybody. I did put my direct email address in the chat. It's amanda.mills@stonybrook.edu. More than happy to answer your questions later on in another format, or more than happy to welcome you to visit campus. We have a full series of campus tours throughout the spring, summer, and fall. And any other questions, you can definitely put them in the chat or the Q&A. And let's open that up. And just on a kind of ending note, we do, college isn't free. So we talk about tuition and, scholarships and paying for college. Stony Brook has usually about 70% of our incoming freshman class earn a merit scholarship. We have a very generous scholarship fund, and those scholarships can range from a few $1,000s a year. I've seen full and half tuition scholarships occasionally for really, stellar high school students. We are test optional again in the next year and a half. Which means that there's no penalty for not submitting SAT or ACT scores. I actually find the review process from an admission standpoint a lot more enjoyable without the test scores. But I would say that if you have a 1,300 critical reading and math or higher, it would be fine to submit test scores to Stony Brook. Or if you have a 27 or higher on the ACT composite score, that would also be definitely acceptable. Combined with, as I said, for most majors, 4 years of math and science is going to be a really strong indicator to us of our prediction of your success in college. So, continuing with math and science, regardless of your major as a senior, has, really kind of research-based been proven to have an impact on your success in college. We have a question about the core curriculum at Stony Brook. It is a liberal arts-based core curriculum. That means that some of the classes you take for your major will overlap with the core and replace some of those core requirements, and some of them won't. So you'll have some academic areas to pursue outside of your major. And we find our students really thrive on that. We've had students who double major. That can be very common for students, especially in the sustainability fields and environmental studies. We see lots of our students across the board adding minors, whether it's language, cultural studies, international relations, especially for students looking to do this work, the SOMAS work outside of the US. We see students pursuing, just pure interest, in areas like anthropology or linguistics or music or art. So you don't necessarily have to have a minor that exactly matches your major. It can just be something, that you really enjoy the subject in. And the core curriculum will address kind of your public speaking skills, making sure that you have strong writing skills, and that we're not sending you off to graduate school or your career without a really strong foundation in how to write, professionally. And again, that experiential education piece, which is, something that everybody at Stony Brook graduates with, an experiential education piece, and usually more than one. Having practical hands-on experience has been very important to who Stony Brook is, to our identity for forever. So, but the core curriculum has your, kind of typical, language and the arts and the sciences, social and behavioral sciences, scientific inquiry, information technology, and all very flexible. So you can choose courses from a wide range of areas. Let's see if there are any additional questions today. I think I talked about location. We talked a little bit about some of the majors. I actually have some notes about what some of the, kind of where our marine science students are interning in the last 2 years. Lots of research labs, Long Island Aquarium, working primarily with marine mammals there, but also learning about aquariums. The Long Island Aquarium is kind of in our backyard, and they really focus, they have a huge conservation and rehabilitation focus, careers in local and state and federal environmental agencies, environmental consulting firms, nonprofits, NGOs. Aquaculture facilities are very popular as well. Public aquariums. We had a former undergraduate student who for a while was the director of the Georgia Aquarium. We have students at the New York Marine Rescue Center, Atlantic Marine Conservation Society, Nature Conservancy is really popular. And we have students that will intern with Students for Climate Action. There's locally Little Ram Oyster Farm, lots of different parks and recreation departments, especially for our sustainability students, regional planning offices, the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, architecture firms, they go into engineering. I mean, what you do with these degrees is really limitless. We've had students from sustainability areas go into the Department of Health, US Fish and Wildlife. So, what you do with a degree in, environmental design policy and planning, or marine vertebrate biology, or environmental studies really has like so many different opportunities that I think, are not as well known, maybe a little bit more now in 2022, but the interdisciplinary curriculums that these programs have, and they really do a great job of integrating principles and methodologies from the social sciences, engineering, the natural sciences, and the humanities. And if you're looking for a well-rounded undergraduate experience, that's really, going to really be, something that hits all the points. And Stony Brook has really kind of looked at how we approach undergraduate education from the point of view that we want to have, the students who leave us go off and do incredible things. So we want them to be as prepared as possible to go out and really thrive in all kinds of environments. And, our students come back to homecoming and different, alumni events on campus, and they come to campus to recruit students for internships where they're working. They come to job fairs to recruit them, and recommend their employers to come recruit them, because they really know the quality of an undergraduate degree from Stony Brook and what that can lead to. That's really all I have today. If there are any last minute additional questions, please put them in the chat or the Q&A, and I will just leave my email address again in case anyone joined us after I originally posted it.
I can also take your email and put it on Wova for anyone who watches the recording afterwards. But thank you so much, Amanda.
You're
That
welcome.
was a
Thank you
great
for having me.
overview of what Stony Brook University does, what the kids can expect to experience, great tips for them, you know, being in high school right now, what to start to prepare for and what to start to gather and figure out, you know, what they want to be doing. It doesn't look like we have any other questions in Wova, and I don't see any in here in the Zoom either. So we'll go ahead and wrap up. I don't know if there's anything last you want to say to them or any last words of advice, but
yeah, just good luck with your college search and your future endeavors, and wish you the best. Stay safe and healthy. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Amanda. And thank you everyone from Stony Brook University who helped make today happen and helps all the students every day on campus. Bye.
Bye.